Hello, one and all, and welcome back to Roll in the Family presents The Slumbering Forest. This is our 6th and final episode, the last chapter of this fairy tale that's a little bit stranger than most of the fairy tales you might have already known. I'm your humble Dungeon Master, Brennan Mulligan. With me, as always, are our wonderful heroes of the Slumbering Forest, champions, magicians, spellcasters, and warriors. Here they all are. I'll go ahead and introduce the players, and the players will introduce their characters, starting with Kelly Knox.
Hello, I'm Kelly. I'm playing Wren, a half-elf druid, Circle of the Stars, and over here is Maddie.
I'm playing Michael the Frog Wizard.
Incredible. We also have Mr. Adam Bradford.
I'm Adam, and I'm playing Barnaby, who is a fawn warlock, and I'm not even going to try. My son is on one of these sides.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. I'm Luke Bradford. I'm Adam's son, and I'm playing Talisman, the Sword Sage Monk.
Incredible. And also with us, we have Mr. B. Dave Walters.
Yeah, see, that was Adam couldn't figure out where Luke was because he didn't have me to piggyback off of. That's what that was. Yes, B. Dave Walters playing Hatch, the Turtle Life Cleric, and I also have with me Kaylin.
Hi, I'm Kaylin. I'm playing Trinity, a Wood Elf Angel.
And Lexi.
Hi, I'm Lexi, and I'm playing Demora, a Tiefling Paladin.
If you guys, once more, final episode for our amazing players. Hooray! Yes. Oh, this has been so much fun, you guys. For those that are maybe catching wise right now, this is the first episode you're seeing. Boy, what timing. You may have noticed that Roll in the Family is a game where parents play with their kids. Indeed, Dungeons & Dragons is a game that's fun for the whole family, and boy, howdy, have we seen that these past 5 weeks. I'll give you a short recap of where we're at in the story right now. So in the realms of Lyra, all of the people know of the fantastical wood known as the Slumbering Forest, which 18 years ago was the bustling kingdom of Caverly, up and until the Queen of Dusk, one of the 4 fairy queens, was not invited, or so we thought, to the naming day of the infant Prince Lionel. So as fairy queens are wont to do when slighted, the Queen of Dusk put the entire kingdom of Caverly to sleep, including the King Leonor and the Queen Lorabelle, and delivered forth a prophecy that if the Prince Lionel had not returned to save his parents by his 18th birthday, then all of the realms of Lyra would fall as well into the clutches of the Slumbering Forest and put into eternal sleep. So guess what? Beginning of the campaign, Prince Lionel had only a week left to show up, and he was not showing up. So the heroes of Lyra got together in the Port of Sapphires and said, we're not going to take any chances here. We're going to go handle matters ourselves. And we have our amazing heroes, Hatch and Talisman from the north, from the Elven folk, Wren and Trinity, and then from the Slumbering Forest itself, Barnaby, Michael, and Champion of the Underworld, Demora, all showed up to get this thing solved. They talked to Prince Aemon, they talked to Master Zariah of Storms, and Zariah let loose that there actually wasn't a prophecy or tablets waiting for them back in the Slumbering Forest, that they were just doing it because something had to be done to give the people hope. And the heroes, even against those stark odds, knew that something had to be done. So with the help of Buford the Boar, and also with who they believed at the time kind of to be Prince Lionel, actually ended up just being a very fish out of water fisherman named Frederick. Neither alliteration nor pun intended. Frederick the fisherman disguised as Prince Lionel, and then they defeated the guardians of the gate of the Slumbering Forest. They met Sir Alamant, the guardian of the pathways, and one by one collected blessings from the 3 fairy queens in order for them to potentially summon the Dusk Queen herself in the event that there was no prophecy, to hopefully try and fix this with willpower and heroism, even if they weren't being helped by some ding-dang prophecy. So Trinity became champion of the Queen of Midnight, getting herself some awesome magical gear, like some cloak from the Queen of Midnight for her honesty and biting wit. We also then saw Talisman best Sir Oridont in the Tournament of the Dawn Queen and become the champion of Dawn with a cool magic sword and amulet. We saw Michael become the champion of Midday with some very clever bartering at the Midday market, winning the favor of the Midday Queen. And along the way, our amazing hero Demora has won not one, but 2 eating contests. I bet your D&D stream doesn't have that. And we also saw Barnaby enter a very scary deal with the Midnight Queen to find a new source for his magic. We saw Ren guide the party through the forest such that even the thorn hounds of whatever shady villainous forces at work could not track the heroes on their way. And we saw the beloved mystic Hatch get some very helpful plant help from a tree that he was hardcore vibing with the last episode. However, even here in the final episode, some mystery remains. What of these strange campfires that Trinity has kept finding and analyzing throughout the forest? Who is the stranger that put Sir Alamanth to sleep? What of the gnomish advisor Ziceris, who brought this fake Lionel that was actually Frederick to the council? And where has Ziceris been this whole time? What of the shaman Alaklasmi and the strange fake druidicism therein? Mysteries abound. And at the end of last episode, on the gate of the Castle of Caverly, here in the realm of Dusk, our friends were suddenly surrounded by moving gargoyles, and we begin with combat today. Guys, if that sounds like a lot of story, you got to go over to the D&D Beyond YouTube, where you can watch all the previous episodes. And by the way, this entire stream is an effort on our part to raise help and awareness for Direct Relief, an awesome charity that is providing aid, support, and materials for first responders, helping us with this global healthcare crisis. So please, if you enjoy the show, and honestly, even if you think the show is so-so, still dig deep and help our first responders by getting into your pockets to help out some people that really could use the help for a very worthy cause. Without further ado, we now return to the final chapter of Roll in the Family presents The Slumbering Forest. We've already rolled initiative. From around you in the thick vines of this place, you see gargoyles begin to move with faces that are both at once canine and simian. Fanged, sort of horned or scaly monkey dog gargoyles with horns and bat wings, talons and lion's paws leap in, and though they are made of stone, take to the air, flapping as the moss leaves their wings and begin to circle around you and your companions. Combat is upon you as a strange voice of laughter echoes out over the castle. Too late, my friends, too late. The first to act in the initiative order is Trinity. Trinity, go for it. What does Trinity do as these gargoyles begin to fly around?
Trinity's gonna go and attack one of them.
Awesome. So right now you're acting so fast that they're still a little bit away from you. So are you gonna run? To remind you of the terrain around here, there's thick trees growing up out of old stone. Only 18 years ago, this place was actually a thriving metropolis of stone with cobbled streets and buildings everywhere. And the forest surged up out of it with magic. So looking around, it's a very strange forest indeed, because anywhere that grass or dirt would be in a normal forest, it's instead moss-covered, broken up stone. So are you going to run away from your companions to go close with one of the gargoyles and attack it?
I think I'm going to stay by my companions and attack one of the ones that are closer by.
Okay, great. Would you like to hold your initiative until they get closer? So in other words, just wait to go until they get close to you.
Wait to go.
Cool. Awesome. I think that is the wise tactical choice as well. Demora, that is your turn.
I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark.
Ooh, very cool. You're gonna cast Hunter's Mark on one of the gargoyles closest to you.
I guess, or I don't know.
That makes sense. I think casting Hunter's Mark on one of the gargoyles closest to you. That's awesome.
Okay, I'll do it on one of those closest to me then.
Awesome. Very, very cool. I'll put a little Hunter's Mark. Bang. Done deal. If you would like, you can also, because that's a bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark, you can also ready an action to take a swing if this thing gets close to you. Or you can run and attack it. Either way is good.
I'll hold the action.
Cool. So it's a very cinematic scene. You guys are in a sort of cyclone of gargoyles, and all kind of getting back to back and getting closer and readying these actions. That is now going to be Talisman.
Okay. Can I move away from my companions?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So I'm going to do that. I'll move about 35 feet away from them, and then I'll ready over there.
Awesome. Do you want to move forward towards the castle, back in the direction you came, or to one of the two sides?
I'll move towards the castle.
You're going to move 35 feet towards the castle. Awesome. Very cool. After moving, is there anything you want to do after you move?
No, I'm good.
Great. So you're going to move. If you would like to, you can take there are certain actions you can take for free. So if you don't want to ready an action to attack,
could I take the dodge action?
Yeah, and you can do that for free because you're not using your action.
I'll do that.
Cool. So you get into a defensive stance as you move forward ahead. Then that's going to be the gargoyles. Oh boy. So we're going to go. One of them's coming for Talisman. One's coming for Demora.
How many, do we know how many gargoyles there are, or just right now just lots?
At the moment, there appear to be 6, which you know is a very dangerous amount of gargoyles for sure. You guys see that gargoyles descend, and what you guys see with these gargoyles descending is the one that was cursed by Demora goes straight for Demora. Another one comes straight for Trinity. Another one comes for Ren. One of them peels off of the cyclone and goes and straight dive bombs Talisman. 2 of them fly for Lionel. Or sorry, 2 of them fly for Frederick, who looks up in his plate armor and goes, "Oh no, stony monsters!" And we're going to go ahead and roll some attacks. Talisman, we're going to first roll for you, buddy. One of them's coming right at you. Hold on one second. Go up here. Oh, and sorry, disadvantage. You guys see Talisman run up ahead. One of the gargoyles goes to dive bomb him, and Talisman, you're just spinning blocks and kicks to parry this thing's limbs back. So there's this intense kung fu sequence happening between Talisman and the gargoyle. No successful hits on Talisman. Trinity, one's going to take 2 swipes on you. One of those is a hit on Trinity. Oh no. Trinity, you only take 3 points of damage, however.
Okay.
As this thing scratches you with stone claws, and Trinity, you can also go now. So you are welcome to take your turn now if you would like.
I think I'm gonna hit the one that just hit me.
Go for it. Go ahead, and you can make both your attacks on this creature.
As a Gloom Stalker, she gets 3 in this first round.
Oh, awesome. Go for it.
Okay. So what do I add again? 6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're going to roll that d20 3 times, adding 6 each time.
21.
21 is a hit.
And the next one is 15.
15 is also a hit.
Okay. 14.
14 is a miss, so you hit twice. Go ahead and roll damage for 2 of those attacks.
8.
8 damage the first one. Nice. Go ahead and roll the second time.
And 10.
And then an extra D8.
Yes, go ahead and add an extra d8. So 8, 10, and then 1 more d8.
Wait. Which one's 8?
8 right here.
Is
These ones are the 8s.
Oh, okay.
2 pyramids.
And that D8 landed on 8.
Ooh, so 18 plus 8 is 26. Awesome. You see that this gargoyle flies down, tries to mess with Trinity, scratches Trinity for a mere 3 points of damage, and Trinity, in a flurry of shadows, bam, 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 stone chips covered in moss. Trinity, you are making gravel out of this gargoyle. It goes and immediately has huge stony chunks out all over its body. Awesome job. This gargoyle is looking hurt. That gargoyle attacks Trinity, and we're going to now have this one's going to go to for Ren real quick. That is definitely a hit. Ren, you also take 3 points of damage from one of the gargoyles as it scratches at you. And then Demora, you can go ahead and take your attack on the one with Hunter's Mark that comes right for you.
Yep. I rolled a d20, correct?
That's correct. So D20 and add your attack modifier.
Which for you is +5.
25.
25 is a hit. So you're going to roll 2d6 plus your strength modifier plus the damage from Hunter's Mark.
Wait, was that another natural 20, Lexi?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. That's a big deal.
Oh my goodness, Lexi. You're going to do a colossal amount of damage right now.
All dice doubled, right?
Yep.
All dice doubled, including Hunter's Mark.
Including Hunter's Mark. So that's 2. That's basically 6d6 essentially.
Oh
He's
my
about to hit
goodness.
more.
Oh my goodness. That is such a tremendous amount of damage.
So what am I rolling again?
Hold on one second. So I'm going to offer something as well here, Lexi, which is that not that you necessarily you don't have to do this, but you can choose to smite after you make an attack roll, which would mean that all of your smite damage would also be doubled. So there's some big positives to smiting on a nat 20 because you could use just a first level spell slot and be doing an extra 4d8 damage. So if you want to, you can. So without smite, it is going to be 6d6. Let me check Hunter's Mark here real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna smite it.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very cool. Awesome. Go for it. So this is going to be 6d6 plus 4d8 plus 3. Oh my goodness. This may take a second to roll.
Yeah, that's a lot of rolling.
While Lexi is doing the most amount of damage it's possible to do, how's everyone else doing? Your guys' weeks going good?
Amazed. Yeah. I'm like, don't mind me with my 1d8 mace and 1d4 claws. It's fine. He's just like,
Incredible.
Cloudbuster on this thing.
That's amazing.
Am I next? Because I can tell you what I'm going to do because it's going to be very simple while she's rolling.
Yes, there's only 2 more gargoyles.
Oh, there's more gargoyles? Okay. No, I didn't know we were still in the gargoyle turn. No, wait. It's worth it to blast things.
I mean, I'm fine with skipping those last 2. And then
Right. Maybe
I'm
they see how
sure.
they just get like pasted and like leave.
Incredible. That is amazing.
There's a lot of dice to
A
roll.
lot of dice to
I
roll,
have to
Lexi.
know she doesn't have that many dice.
Oh no! Lexi, let us know if you need any help with that dice rolling.
I'm good.
Cool. No, a lot to tabulate. So it's 6d6, 4d8, and then you add 3 at the end of that. This is so cool. You love a nat 20 smite. You love a nat 20 smite.
It's funny because like, oh, how many? Sorry.
33.
33 damage. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on one second. That's going to now be Demora. You hold your finger up and cast this underworld curse on this gargoyle that's coming right for you. It screams as it comes for you. You spin around, take your greatsword out, and chop both of its wings clean off of its body. It skids into the ground with a huge crack on its back. It like wobbles to its feet. Not only is this thing on death's door, it no longer has the ability to fly as you drive into the ground. You guys see the stone around Demora's feet craters and cracks with the force of this glowing red blow from her sword. Amazing. The last 2 gargoyles make this roll. There's not much of a chance that they fail. And with one of them hitting a nat 20, there's yes. Oh no.
Oh.
You guys see Michael, you actually are the one that sees this because everyone else is focusing on gargoyles right now. Frederick in his armor looks around. 2 gargoyles descend on him. He goes, "No, please help me." They do not attack him with their jaws or claws. They grab him, one under each shoulder, and go straight up into the air with him. They are now both about 20 feet into the air. Michael, do you have a weapon in your hand or the Warcaster feat?
I have a dagger. I don't know if that does anything.
If you wanted to take a swing at one of these gargoyles, you could. A dagger's not going to be a tremendous amount of damage, so it probably won't stop them. But on principle, if you want to take a swing at one of them, you can, as Frederick is lifted up into the air.
Would putting on my character sheet it says that I could put my poison from my poison skin on the dagger. Would that do anything, or are they just stone so the poison wouldn't do anything?
I'm going to say because you're proficient in Arcana, you're familiar with gargoyles. So, Michael, you would actually know that constructs like these don't have blood, and therefore poison doesn't affect them.
Okay. How badly do we need him?
No, I love him.
I think I'm rubbing off on you, kid.
I know.
Okay, fine. I'll dagger one of them. I'll dagger like one of their wings. or
Go
something.
ahead and roll an attack roll. Roll a d20.
Very shrewd
Okay.
tacticians.
Got 7.
Awesome. 7. Sorry, I thought it was 7 damage. 7 is so you like lean out of your barrel, slosh some water, and swing with the dagger there. Miss the gargoyle. They go 20 feet up. Next in the initiative order, that is going to be, I believe, Hatch.
Slight change in plans for what I was going to do. Now, to be clear, I can cast a cantrip and a bonus action spell in the same round, right?
That is correct. Yes.
I would like to toll the dead on the gargoyle that Trinity attacked.
Awesome. Very, very cool.
It needs a wisdom 14.
Wisdom 14. It may come as some small surprise, but these stone lizard dog apes, not very wise.
Weird. Weird. I don't like to judge by appearances.
It fails on its save.
8 points of damage.
Awesome. Hatch.
Does it look like it's still alive?
Still alive, yes.
Spiritual weapon on that same one that looks like a blue spiky turtle shell.
Perfect.
Bashes down on it. Exactly. Actually, sorry. I have to attack for the spiritual weapon.
No worries.
15.
15 hits.
Hey. All right. For an additional 11.
Ooh, this thing is almost crumbled into just pure gravel. There's almost nothing of it left.
Oh, right. And that's it for me. Actually, if I can still move, I'm going to move towards Talisman so he's not alone up there.
Okay, awesome. And actually, you're going to get one attack of opportunity from a gargoyle. And it hits for 4 points of damage to you, Hatch.
Oh, hey.
Great. So you're what's your speed?
30 feet. I'm
Cool.
deceptively spry.
You hustle over there. You are next to Talisman. Awesome. Barnaby, that's going to be you.
I am going to okay, so the one that I see the blue spiked turtle shell come down on, I'm going to actually as a bonus action just say, I bet you didn't see this coming this morning, and cast Hex on him and just kind of wiggle my fingers, and runes head out toward the gargoyle, and then I'm going to Eldritch Blast there to hopefully finish that off. And the Eldritch Blast is a 16.
16 hits.
All right, so that's going to do, nice, big money. That's 18 points of damage with the Hex.
Unleashing a blast of eldritch energy, Barnaby's eyes glow. And Barnaby, you see a flicker in the magic that you can tell it's close to leaving you. But you're like scraping the bottom of the barrel for this magic, and boom, powerful eldritch blast in a spray of rocks. That gargoyle is no more.
All right, and then at this point, I think that Demora and others are near me, so I'm going to essentially try to take some level of cover behind them. I ain't saying I'm hiding or nothing, but I'm just making sure that I'm taking all the tactical advantages I can get.
Perfect. That's
Protect me, Demora.
Awesome. You after you, that's going to be Michael.
I think Michael's gonna hop out of his barrel because he can't really do anything in a barrel. And for now, I think all he can do or what I want him to do is go invisible, so they can't see him.
Awesome.
I don't think I can do anything else.
There's also magic
that.
missile and other stuff like that. But yeah, for sure, going invisible is not a bad call.
I meant with invisibility. I meant like I can't do two things because I think I can only just cast that.
Gotcha. Cool. So you're going to cast invisibility this round.
Mhm.
Cool. So you guys see that there is Michael goes invisible, and there's just like an empty barrel of water on the back of Buford's wagon. Awesome. Next in the order is Ren.
How high up is Frederick at this point?
He's about 20 feet in the air at this point.
Is that probably too high for Entangle to catch him?
Let me read the description of Entangle.
It's not quite clear.
Let me see here. Grasping leaves and vines sprout from the ground in a 20-foot square, starting from a point within range. For the duration, these plants turn the ground. A creature in the area when he casts a spell must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the entangling plants. A creature restrained by the plants can use its action. Okay, I'm gonna say that you know what? Go ahead and give me a DC 15 nature check, because he's 20 feet up, which is right at the border of the spell. So go ahead and give me a nature check to see if he's on one side or the other of that border.
19.
Awesome. So you reach deep within yourself, summon the power of the forest. You see in the dusk sky a few points of starlight appear. Boom. The tree's branches reach out to try and catch. Frederick immediately chooses to fail his save to get grabbed by the trees. However, the gargoyles are going to continue to pull at him. So I'm going to say that because Frederick is letting himself get restrained, they're going to have disadvantage on these saving throws.
Okay.
What is your DC?
Spell DC is 13.
13. Okay. These gargoyles are pretty strong, so they just need an 11 or higher, but they are rolling with disadvantage. Let's see. That is a failure. A nat 20 and a 16, sadly. You see that one of the gargoyles gets trapped and is fully restrained as they try to get Frederick. The last gargoyle pulls and rips Frederick up through the top of the tree branches. You have successfully captured and restrained one of these gargoyles. We see the other one just in a shatter of twigs breaks. You see Frederick looks at you, Ren, as you cast the spell and says, "My lady Ren of the Two Woods, I am so very fond of you. Please remember me well," as he flies off into the dusky sky.
I thought we were never going to get rid of that guy.
Oh no. That poor fisherman. Trinity, that is going to be you.
Are there any gargoyles left?
Yes, there is one that's attacking Ren right now that hasn't been hurt at all. There's another one that Demora cut the wings off of. And then there's another unharmed one up near Talisman.
I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on the one that Demora cut the wings off.
Oh, very cool. You cast Hunter's Mark on that one with a bonus action, and you still have an attack left.
That is a 22.
Ooh, that is a hit. Go ahead and roll you're gonna roll 1d6 for your sword, and then you're gonna also roll another 1d6 for Hunter's Mark.
I got 7 for the Hunter's Mark and 8 for the sword.
Okay, awesome. What did you roll on the Hunter's Mark die, just to ask?
7.
Okay, I think Hunter's Mark is only a 6-sided die. So no, so it should be 2 of the little cube ones that you're rolling.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
No
My
worries.
bad.
That's okay.
I rolled a 5.
A 5. So 5 plus 7 is 12. Demora, you bam, cut the wings off this gargoyle, slam it into the ground. Trinity does a backflip over your head, lands, and plants her sword into the back of the gargoyle, and the stone shatters as that gargoyle is defeated. Both of you guys have had your hunter's mark on the same enemy. So you guys stand up and look. You see that your 2 hunter's marks, the energy kind of commingles and crackles with this like hunter's light. And on your turns, you guys can pick new targets also for those hunter's mark spells. That is now going to be Demora's turn.
Which gargoyles are left again?
An uninjured one attacking Ren, and another uninjured one attacking Talisman.
I will put Hunter's Mark on the one attacking Ren.
Awesome. Very cool. That is a bonus action. You can go ahead and close with it and take your attack. And let me know what you roll for that attack roll.
$22.
22 is a hit. So that's going to be, and you can also choose to smite if you would like. That's going to be 2d6 plus 3, unless you want to do smiting damage as well.
I'm going to save the smite for another fight.
Cool. Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 3.
In total, I got 11.
11 damage. Awesome. You run up, boom, clobber this gargoyle with your great sword, and skid in and get in between it and Ren, so Ren is protected. That's going to be Talisman.
So is Frederick just gone? Is he just completely gone?
He's not gone, but he is, 20 feet up in the air, sort of above the tree line, and he is he's sort of up in the air and being flown away by these gargoyles.
Is there any way that I could get to him with Step the Wind or something like that?
Fascinating. Let me see here. I'm going to ask you for some information real quick, Luke, and we're going to see.
He has my permission to post off of my shell. I'm right next to him.
There are a lot of trees here.
What is Talisman's strength score?
It is a 15, so that's +2.
Okay. So I am afraid your high jump, you can reach up and grab something 19 feet off the ground. I will ask, go ahead and give me, if you want to, you can give me an athletics check, but that will be your action. Basically.
Can I ask one thing to advocate?
Yes.
Ren hit Entangle on one of the gargoyles, didn't she?
She did. That's true.
Perhaps that one is a little lower in the sky.
Oh my God. Okay. How much movement do you get when you take Step of the Wind?
A lot. 100 feet.
That's crazy. Okay.
150 actually, if you dash too.
If you dash too. So distance covered is actually not a problem. Ooh, you guys, this is very sneaky. Okay. Here's what we're gonna call it. That gargoyle is about 20 feet up in the air, and the other one is a little bit past him. So I'm gonna say it's within your movement to be able to do this. I'm going to need a DC 20 athletics check from you to get up through the branches of the entangle. And then I'm looking at entangle as well. You're also going to need to give me a save against the entangle effect. And then if you can get to that gargoyle, it's just a DC, we'll call it a DC 10 athletics to get from that gargoyle to Frederick and the other gargoyle. So any order you want. You can give me the saving throw for the entangle effect first. You can give me the athletics checks first, however you want to do it.
Okay. So what was the one for entangle again?
It's Ren, what's your DC?
13.
It's a DC 13 strength saving throw.
Okay, DC 13 strength saving. Got it. I'll roll for that.
Cool. Go ahead and give me that first.
I got a 10.
Oh.
Cool. Talisman, you leap up. You see Frederick, incredibly heroic thing that you're doing to go try to save your friend. You leap to the gargoyle, and Ren, the trees that you have commanded to get those gargoyles, these trees aren't too bright. So Talisman leaps in, and a tree and wraps around Talisman's body. Talisman, for the moment, you are restrained. And the issue
Sorry.
the issue here, Ren, is you have to decide, because you could dismiss concentration on it right now, but that other gargoyle would no longer be a stepping stone that Talisman could use. Talisman, you've only used your movement and a bonus action right now, so you still have an action even though you're restrained. So you could use an action to try to get yourself out of this. A creature restrained by the plants can use its action. A creature restrained by the plants. Actually, hold on. A creature in the area when you cast a spell must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the entangled. A creature restrained by the plants can use its action to make. It actually doesn't say that creatures that enter the area get entangled. I want to make sure that I'm being a fair, good dungeon master. Let me double check, because I would not want to be a meanie.
It says when you cast the spell, must succeed on a strength.
And then at the beginning of their turn, if they start there.
That's correct. A creature restrained by a creature in the area when you cast the spell must be by entangling the spell. Okay. A creature in the area or be restrained by the entangling plants. Creature restrained by these plants can use action. Reading it this way, I don't think Talisman will get restrained by these plants. So actually, red line, retcon that. My good dude, give me a DC 20 athletics check. Let me know if you hit it.
It's like the tree reaches for him and then is like, man.
He's okay.
Athletics.
It was going for a high five. That's it. It was a misunderstanding.
Oh no, it's a 19.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Talisman, you leap through the air, hit the gargoyle. I mean, what you guys are seeing is superhuman. You know, like Talisman leaps 20 feet into the air. You hit that gargoyle and like spring up to bounce off of it. I'm going to say that you're perched on this gargoyle and you look to jump again, and you can eyeball it. You can tell that that other gargoyle is just out of reach. Talisman, you have an action left. If there's any action you want to take here.
I will, just to spite it, I'm going to throw a dart.
Go ahead and make an attack.
Okay. That misses. That's a 14.
You throw your dart. You're so peeved, man. You did this cool jump, and nothing's working out for Talisman right now. Dart flies off into the forest. Next is the gargoyles. The one that is restrained is going to try to break out. It does not. Other one's going to take some attacks on Demora. Misses both times. Other one's going to take attacks on Hatch. Hits once for 8 points of damage to Hatch.
Hey, I say quit that.
And the other gargoyle takes full movement that round and begins to vanish into the dusky horizon with Frederick. It is now going to be Hatch's turn.
Are there any injured gargoyles still around?
There are 2 gargoyles still in the fight. One injured one fighting Ren and Demora, and then one that is like squaring off just against you.
But it is currently not injured?
Currently not injured, no.
I aim for the injured one in Toll the Dead in Spiky Shell again.
Perfect. Go for it.
So for Toll the Dead, he needs to save against me. Wisdom 14.
Does not succeed.
All right. So I get him for 11 with Toll the Dead.
Ooh, that's a hurt gargoyle.
And spiritual weapon. I need to try and hit him, which I get a 24.
24 definitely hits.
Hopefully so. You're like dodge. For another 10.
Awesome. Boom. Powerful mystical magic rains down in this gargoyle, looking very injured. The one next to you is still totally uninjured as you reach the spell out to cast it, very selflessly, I might add. Barnaby, that is you.
All right, so Barnaby actually, after saying, the little bit about Frederick before, he kind of like bites back the words just a little bit, and then kind of just flashing through his mind all the people that he's been with for this bizarre journey, and he's just like, Trinity, she's always telling the truth, and Demora, she's so brave. And Talisman, he's just like so mighty, and Ren, she learns from her mistakes and writes things down, and Hatch, he's so wise and he's just so inspiring, and Michael the Frog, it's just so wet, and I gotta do something here, and so I am going to cast Expeditious Retreat as a bonus action to run as fast as I can down the horizon to get in range of the gargoyle, like from the ground. And then I am, as an action, I'm going to cast Suggestion and simply say to the gargoyle, hey, listen here. You're going to fly right down here and you're going to set Frederick down real gentle like. And the DC is Wisdom 15.
Wisdom 15. Awesome. So that's now I'm gonna be a stickler for the rules here. Okay. Expeditious Retreat and Suggestion are both spells.
Oh, yep. I keep thinking Expeditious Retreat's a cantrip. You are right. So so at this point then, how far away is he? So you said it moved last time.
It did.
Do I have enough movement to get there to get in range?
So it all depends on the range of Suggestion. Right now, this gargoyle went straight up on its turn. On its last turn, it moved 60 and then 60 again for a full 120. Now,
so it's 120 feet in the air?
It's not 100 feet in the air. It's basically about like 30 to 40 feet up and 120 feet away. We'll simplify that by just saying that it is, for all intents and purposes, 120 feet away from you.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's not going to work. None of that's going to work. But Barnaby is still going to, in that case then, he is going to, let's see. So that's, sorry, checking the range on one other thing there.
No worries.
Okay. He is going to do the Expeditious Retreat still, and he's just going to continue to run after wherever. Is it going toward the castle or away?
It is going towards the castle.
Okay. So he's still going to run up there, and he's going to just like yell that out at the gargoyle without the magical suggestion element there.
So you're just sprinting and shouting at this gargoyle. It turns around, looking at you move this fast. It does look upset and confused when like, as it like lifts Frederick up into the sky. But yes, you see it heading down that path. That is Barnaby's turn. Michael, that's going to be you.
Can I cast Magic Missile? The range is 120 feet.
Yes, you absolutely can.
Okay. Just a d20. Oh wait, no, it always hits.
It always hits. You're just gonna roll 3d4 plus 3.
Oh, sweet. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Nine.
9. Awesome. You blast a magic missile screams out of the barrel. Your invisibility ends as you cast that spell. And that is it is injured as it flies away. Ren, that's going to be you.
So it hasn't moved. It's still at 120.
It is still at 120. Yes.
Okay. Ren's gonna pull out her new spellcasting focus, and this one it's a little cloudy. It's not quite as large as the one she had before. She cast it under the sun instead of the stars, but she's going to use it anyway, and she's going to cast Guiding Bolt on the one that has Frederick.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
20.
Natural?
No.
Oh, 20 definitely hits. That's awesome.
10 points.
10 points. Another 10 points of damage. This one is now looking with the magic missile, and this is looking definitely injured. And the guiding bolt surrounds it with light, which is going to be very important for next round.
Mm-hmm.
That is Ren. Beginning of the next round. Trinity, you and Demore are still on the ground. There are still 2 gargoyles here fighting you. One of them is pretty badly injured. The other one attacking Hatch is totally uninjured.
Okay. I think I'm gonna walk up to the one who's really badly injured. And I'm gonna be like, "So I suggest you on, because I'm gonna hit you in 5 seconds." And she just stands there and pulls out her sword sharpener and just starts sharpening it.
Trinity, give me an intimidation check with advantage, if you'd be so kind.
That's a nat 20.
Oh my goodness. Trinity, you step forward and tell this gargoyle that you're going to hit it in 5 seconds unless it stops. You guys all watch Trinity's cloak swirls around her, and all the shadows of the forest lengthen as Trinity summons pure midnight magic to surround her. It almost looks like there are multiple shadows of Trinity holding swords in multiple places in the forest. This gargoyle that goes and leaps into the trees. You guys are out of combat. All the gargoyles turn to flee. They all run. All the gargoyles left run away. That is incredible. Barnaby, because you took your action to go and pursue the one that Michael and Ren just hit, go ahead and give me perception with advantage. I can't believe Trinity hit a nat 20 intimidation. That's
incredible.
Perfect.
I'm having crazy tech issues. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Dave. Yes, but you are frozen. I would stop and start video if you can.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't dropped completely. I can hear all you.
19 on perception.
19 on perception? Awesome. You see this gargoyle dive into one of the low windows and disappear in the castle as you skid to a halt at a drawbridge that is lowered. And on the far side of the drawbridge, over this thick, mossy moat, is a closed portcullis, the sort of lattice work of iron kind of gate there. As you skid to a halt, you think the gargoyle went into the courtyard, and you can kind of see a little bit of a glow from inside the courtyard.
At this point in time, Barnaby then is going to continue with Expeditious Retreat, and he just starts yelling at the top of his lung, I'm coming for you, Frederick. And he is just like lost all sense at this point in time and is running, trying to go in. If he gets the portcullis, he is going to use his last spell slot to Misty Step through.
Extremely cool. I love that. Barnaby, you Misty Step through and are looking around in the courtyard. The glow has vanished. By the way, I will say this. As you hit the drawbridge, you hear two gargoyles that are not monstrous gargoyles. There are two stone lion faces on either side that are just like set into the stone. As you run, they're like, hold it right there. Go no further. Go no further.
Too bad. I'm there. And I'm just ignoring them.
Amazing. You skid into the courtyard and teleport through with your last spell slot, looking around. You feel the last spell slot leave your body. And you can't help but feel that your time is running out. And this may be the last spell you ever cast.
He better be worth it.
Michael, yes.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I have.
Oh, no worries. Go for it. So Barnaby, you look around, and as you are looking, that glow was in here. You could have sworn something wrong. You had a weird feeling, and suddenly, from on high, there is a clatter of armor, and you see Frederick land on the ground in the courtyard. As he lands, your immediate first thought is that you don't think you think he's okay. You think that he might be unconscious, but that he's probably okay. But you just see Frederick collapse onto the ground in front of you.
No, Frederick! I really tried. I promise. Honestly, I did. I know you might think that I didn't, but I really did try. And Barnaby just tries to rush forward if he can to check on him.
Go ahead and give me a medicine check.
That's going to go well for Barnaby with all that training that he has. So that is a 10.
10. You're checking everything's okay. You look up and see a couple of gargoyles up on the roof of the castle kind of like skitter away from you, clearly having dropped Frederick. There's a couple of them up there. Go ahead and give me a perception check again.
That is an 8.
Cool. So yeah, you see a couple of the gargoyles up there. They skitter away. Frederick sort of gets up, clearly badly hurt from he fell about 40 feet. Scoots up and goes, "Hey, oh dear, I can't believe it."
Oh, thank goodness. You're okay, kid. And Barnaby wraps him up if he can in a hug.
He looks up and says, "I'm very grateful for your help. Who are you?"
Oh, dear. You mean I did all this and I don't even get any credit? Oh, I'm sorry. I reverted a little bit there. I am Barnaby, and I have been your best friend for the last, I don't know, week or something.
Oh, well, my mind is so foggy right now. Thank you, Barnaby. I can sense from your kind gesture that you are a good fawn indeed. I don't know where I am. For the rest of you, the gargoyles flee. You guys are a little bit banged up here and there, but for the most part, you're okay. As you guys advance down the path, you get to that drawbridge with the portcullis. Yes, Michael.
I still have the letter on me, right? From the
still
invitation?
do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You arrive. The two lions up on either side say, "We're not certain who that rude fawn was, but we'll tell you this right now. We'll have no more funny business here. We are the guardians of the drawbridge of Castle Caverly of the Slumbering Forest. And though we can't move anything other than our mouths and eyes, you had best not trifle with us. This is a magically protected castle." Yes, Michael.
Michael cast friends.
Yes, you can cast friends. Go ahead and give me persuasion with advantage.
Okay.
And let me know what you got on your persuasion check. What'd you get?
A natural 20 plus 1. So 21.
What is happening? Michael, you step forward, and Michael, you feel you've come into your own. You are the midday champion, and all of the cleverness and guile and cunning and wit of the midday market flows effortlessly to you. What do you say as you approach these two grumpy stone lions?
Hold on. Michael's just he's gonna walk up to them and wave, and that's it. That's what makes them be friends. He's just gonna be like, "Hey guys."
You see that both of them say, "There will be no coming into the." Hello, Michael. Good to see you. There will be no coming into the castle of Dusk, the castle of cavalry. They both look down and say, "Oh, wait a minute. You're Michael the Frog. Legend of your cunning and wit has spread through the forest far and wide. Listen, are these people? Oh, they don't have hands. Are these people with you?"
They are.
Well, all right. I suppose we could tell you a little secret. This castle is full of riddles and challenges. We only know about the drawbridge one, but we'd be happy to tell you the drawbridge's riddle. So here's essentially the problem. The rope that controls the portcullis is right there against the stone of the gate. You see a big, heavy hemp rope that is like counterweighted and controls the portcullis. You see they say, the rope is enchanted. It cannot be broken with magic or spells or fire of any kind, but it can be cut normally. However, any weapons that pass over the moat will get drawn directly in to the moat. And you look into the water and see tons of rusty, algae-covered weapons all in the bottom of the moat from people that went into it. You see that the lions say, well, the water of the moat will enchant and draw into it any weapons that pass over it while the portcullis is closed. But of course, the portcullis can't be opened unless, of course, the rope is cut. But the rope can't be cut from afar, so you see it's sort of a catch-22 scenario. Yes, Hatch.
While all of this is happening, Hatch is casting prayer healing. It takes some time to do. That's why he's like while we're walking. Just when it's done, I give everybody back 12 hit points.
Awesome. Everybody gets back 12 hit points.
So, Brennan, what happened to my dagger as I misty stepped across the portcullis?
Now that you hear that happening, you check for your dagger, and it is gone from your.
Okay.
It is gone. It's like somewhere in the moat now. So your dagger is no more. Yes.
If I heard that, like I'm looking around inside the courtyard if I happen to see any weaponry lying around.
You start looking around for stuff. There's a lot of like old stone plinths that have probably been animated into gargoyles now. Other stuff like that is here and there and elsewhere. You see. Go ahead and give me an investigation check if you want to.
When I see Barnaby, Hatch is going to be like, hey, that was very heroic.
Thank you. I'm trying to do better. You all make me want to do better.
The sort of feeling of warmth and a little bit of melancholy sort of fills the space of Dusk here. You guys have come so far. You're not sure where Frederick is. You know that there's some voice within the castle. Someone's up to something. But
I got a dirty 20 on the investigation.
Awesome. You look around. You know that all the weapons in here have probably been thrown into the moat, and you can look out through the portcullis. There is no rope on your side, but you look at the rope on the other side so that someone could cross the drawbridge and cut it. And you're on that nat 20, because that's still a good investigation check. You're thinking to yourself, it says any weapon, what the two guardians said is any weapon that passes over the moat is drawn into it. But once the portcullis is open with the rope being cut, that won't happen anymore. Yes, Ren.
Ren's going to cast Thorn Whip and see what happens to that.
Cast Thorn Whip on the rope?
It's just summoning a weapon.
Oh, you're just going to go try to get a weapon out of the moat with it?
No. It's you summon a vine that you use as a vine-like whip covered in thorns.
Got you. You can definitely do that. I'll actually say that I think Ren can tell that that Thorn Whip summons a weapon, but that weapon counts as a spell.
Okay.
Hey, Talisman. I got an idea. Didn't you get some kind of magic oil that will like magically summon a weapon to somebody's hand? I bet the oil won't go into the moat. So maybe you could give Meaty or like you can stow your weapon or give it to somebody. Then you could walk across, you could use the oil, and then it could just like go into your hand.
That's a good idea, Barnaby.
Pretty smart.
Incredible. Talisman, you take that sort of carbonated magic oil, apply it to your sword. The sword shimmers and sheens. Go ahead. If you want to leave it on this side and walk over to the rope, you can absolutely do that.
Okay. Talisman starts to leave it. He looks at it for a second. This is the first time he's gone without a weapon since who knows how long. And then he lays it down and he walks across.
You walk across. You get to the rope. Hatch, yes. Oh, you're muted.
Muted.
I just say, if I see him seeming hesitant, I just say, I'm like, hey, the real weapon's in here. And I just tap him on the forehead.
Awesome. Talisman, you walk across, you get in front of the rope. As you snap your fingers, boom, the sword appears in your hand, not in the moat.
Yes, I am so glad that worked. Thank you, Barnaby. That was a great idea.
I'm just glad you can sing, kid.
Talisman, with one quick chop, boom, the rope goes, portcullis is up. You see the two lions go, oh, very, very happy we could help. Thank you. Michael, come visit truly anytime. You guys walk in, and Barnaby, you feel like a true selfless act of pursuing Michael and investigating here. You solved the puzzle, and Talisman, you've chopped the rope with that very good purchase of that oil. You guys move through the castle. Where do you guys go? Do you guys want to go deeper down into the dungeons, or do you guys want to go up into the keep of the castle to look for the throne room? Yes, Hatch.
I hit thaumaturgy to make my voice boom 3 times larger. Or louder.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just walk in, I'm like, hey, this is Zeris. Come out here, you tricky gnome.
Ooh, called out.
Trinity, go ahead and give me a survival check real quick.
Okay.
Michael, yes.
Don't we want to summon the 3 queens to call the Dusk Queen? Or is that at the end?
I think we need to do it for sure.
You guys can do that right now if you want to.
Survival?
Amazing. Survival, yes.
I got 22.
22, awesome. You guys, so you called for Ziceris, Hatch. You guys are in the courtyard now. You solved the puzzle of the moat. You guys walk in, you defeated these gargoyles. It's like, okay, this is it. This is the time. You guys hear a voice ring out, and it says, Looking for Viserys, are you? A handsome human prince in armor walks out with Viserys bound and gagged and like unconscious in ropes. This person walks out, smiles, tosses Viserys, who again is unconscious, boom, to the ground in front of you. And you see that the sort of smiling human prince looks at you and says, "Heroes of the Slumbering Forest, thank you for everything you've done. My friend, you are Hatch the Mystic, yes?"
Yeah.
Says, "You are right to call Viserys a fiend, for a fiend indeed he is. You have made it here and are successful in your quest. I am Prince Lionel of Caverly. And if you had not foiled the wicked gnome Viserys, I would surely have fallen into his clutches. You have truly saved the day."
I don't really trust this guy.
Michael,
How do you get past the gargoyles? And how is
you see
how did we
that-
see him? How did we
you see-
not see him?
You see that he looks at you and says, "How did I get past the gargoyles? Through your bravery by attacking the gargoyles in the forest, I was able to." Trinity, with that 22 survival check, you look at the soft ground of the courtyard directly behind Prince Lionel and see very small boot prints in the grass that the Prince Lionel left behind him. Trinity, yes.
And Trinity's like, "No, you're not him. It's you, nasty little small foot guy."
You see Prince Lionel says, "Nasty little small foot guy. Well, I'd rather be that than fools." There is a swirl of illusion magic around Prince Lionel. You see he turns with motes of glittering light, turns into a tall frog, turns into a furry. As he's a frog for a moment, you see he looks at you, Michael, and says, "A much more handsome frog than you, wouldn't you say?" You see turns briefly into a furry alaklasmi, and then finally back into a very small booted gnome, Viserys. You
all these flavors, and you still choose to be salty.
Michael, you have your hand raised.
Can Michael asks, well, he doesn't ask, but I'm just kind of wondering if he'll tell us, what was he carrying before? Was he like, because he said it was carrying the gnome guy. I still can't remember names apparently.
You still see an unconscious bound gnome on the ground next to where Viserys is. So there's now two Viseryses there. The real one and this other one that's sort of like a dummy or something or bound up. You see Viserys looks up. You guys see the different times are converging. You see dawn in the sky and midday in another portion of the sky and midnight. Viserys looks at you and says, "Time is running out before the prince's birthday arrives." He grabs the unconscious Viserys and teleports into the castle. Michael, yes.
Can we call the queens?
You absolutely.
I think we need to call them. We need their help. Obviously, we're running out of time.
It seems like a dramatically appropriate moment.
Well said.
Yes.
You see. So you guys call the queens. Oh yes, Michael.
Can Ren call the cat? What's their name? The fast cat?
You want me to call Jothra? Sure, we could use the help, I guess.
How do we call the queens again? Like, I'm assuming that we got a little bit of instruction on how to do that.
Yeah, well, you guys have the champions act and speak in the names of their queens, so it's almost like it's almost like contacting a warlock patron. Trinity, go for it.
Can we like get the people we've made like befriended, like the people we've met in the different areas, maybe to come help us fight?
You guys can absolutely call out to all your friends here. I would say that Hatch or Ren, go ahead and give me a religion or a nature check from Hatch or Ren for you guys, or yeah, that feels right. So you guys give me a religion or a nature check.
Ironically enough, as a cleric, I'm not trained in religion, but let's see here.
9 on the nature check.
You kind of do it by feel and not by education.
I just like go with it, but it's a 16.
16, cool.
For religion.
Cool. Hatch, for that religion check, I think Hatch, you know a simple rite of calling for calling upon spirits. And with a 16, I'll say that everybody can call for one person. So obviously you're going to want to call those fairy queens, but for everyone else, you can call other stuff as well. So everyone let me know who the person is you're calling with this ritual here.
Everyone but the champions, or the champions call 2 people?
I'm going to say that the champions should probably call. The champions don't have to call the queens if they don't want to, but you're definitely going to want those queens to show up, I would imagine.
Right, yeah.
And probably also one of you should call the Dusk Queen, right? So
whoever does that, I got the letter.
I'm going to volunteer for that one because I think I got something to say to her.
I thought you might.
Awesome.
I'm
gonna call my buddy Twig. The trees should probably know what's happening.
Great. Twig is who's being called. To Trinity, Talisman, and Michael, are you guys going to call the queens that you are champions of?
Yes, and I'll give Barnaby the letter so he can, like, charisma the Dusk Queen.
Awesome. Great. You give Barnaby the letter. Ren and Demora, you guys get to call people outside of this because Hatch is calling Twig. Is there anyone else that you guys have met that you want to call here?
I'll call Jothra.
Awesome. You call Jothra and Demora. Is there anyone that you've met in your journeys in the Slumbering Forest that you want to call here?
I will call Sir Alamant here.
Ooh, great choice. That is awesome. You guys stand in a circle of 7. Slightly outside, you see sitting on the wagon is sort of a confused looking Frederick. Buford is there. The 7 of you put your hands in the center. Hatch, you close everyone's hands with warm light. You see that in between you guys, a small like bulb sprouts and something starts to grow. And as you step back, you see that a small tree is growing. From the roots of that, dust settles, and through the courtyard, a pathway grows until a door at the edge of the courtyard opens. You guys hear in the distance, and Jothra appears. Huh, hey, you guys called. The new pathway that appears, the door opens. Sir Alamant, with a kind of like road or pathway magic, appears here. And the tree that grows in the center of the courtyard is Twig, who appears newly grown here. Your 3 friends arrive. Alamant comes up to you, Demora, and says, "Oh, Lady Demora, it is an honor to be by your side." You guys see that Jothra looks over at you, Ren, and says, "Hi! Oh, nice druid! Good to see you again. Got here just in time. Hope I wasn't too late." And Twig looks down at you, Hatch, and says, "What a very special occasion." You guys...
Yeah, I figure you'd want to see this.
You guys look out and see that appearing almost through like illusory mirrors, they're not physically here, you see that the 3 queens that you have already met begin to appear. Behind Talisman is that like orange, purple, glowing dawn light. And you see through an almost like magical window from her court, the Queen of Dawn say, "My champion calls and I answer. Well met, brave Talisman." Behind Trinity, a jet black mirror occurs, and sitting with a raven on her hand is the Queen of Midnight, who smiles and says, "Trinity, I saw you frighten those gargoyles, and I have to say, your work, my darling, is simply stunning." Michael, behind you, bright golden midday light, and you see the Queen of Midday say, "With a quick tongue and a winning smile, the champion of midday is a friend of all." Great solving of that puzzle, Michael. The 3 queens kind of behold each other. And as they do, they all say, "Sister, sister, hello, well met." See, the Queen of Midday is like, "Oh, Queen of Dawn, you look wonderful." Queen of Dawn is like, "Stop with the flattery." Queen of Midnight looks over and says, "Midday, I assume that you're busy as ever with your enterprises." And the Queen of Midday arches and says, "Assume you're interested in what? Studies?" They sort of laugh. And you see they all say, "It's time." They all look to the other side of Twig the tree. You guys have all kind of like made a little, you're all on one team now. They all call and say, "Sister, Queen of Dusk," and in unison they say, "We call for you once more on behalf of the bravery, honesty, and cleverness of our champions. Return once more." You guys see storm clouds gather, and it feels heavy in the air. You hear a wailing scream as the clouds reach down almost like a cyclone to appear in front of you. You see that the Queen of Dusk yells, "Not here! Not in my realm!" And you see that all 3 other queens look at you, their champions, and go, "Sorry, sister's rules, it's on you now." Their mirrors shatter. And ancient laws of how these sisters interact mean that they cannot set foot in their sisters' realms. But their blessing has called the 4th and final sister here. Roiling an 18-foot-tall woman whose hair is this purple-blue river. Her hair is literally like flowing water down her back. Looks around, silvery little tattoos of starlight on her, and sort of deep indigo skin with this long gown. See that she is like weeping from her eyes as she looks and beholds you. Michael, that's you.
Once she appears, Michael's like, "Hey!" And then, like, kind of like how earlier when Hatch shoved me with the Midnight Queen, he kind of like nudges Barnaby towards her, like,
Barnaby at this point, clutching the letter in his hands, he kind of like just puts his arms down, and he's kind of like spinning his heels out here and there, kind of looking everywhere, and he shuffles forward just a little bit, and he wants to address her and start speaking if she's just still just sitting there and not looking like she's about to kill us.
Well, she's looking pretty ticked off. Dave, that's you.
I just lean over to Barnaby and I put my hand on his back and I'm like, "You got this." And I hit him with bless.
Hey, Queen of the Dusk, it ain't got to go like this. It doesn't have to be a fight. Nobody wants that. Well, maybe that one guy does over there, Alamanth, but nobody else wants that.
You've summoned me back to the site of my humiliation, called my sisters here, who all dined in excellence at the feast, while I was mocked and betrayed by those who swore they would be kind to me. I blessed the family of Caverly with blessing after...
Listen, your worshipfulness, listen, I know a thing or two about being humiliated. I know a thing or two about being maybe misunderstood also. And listen, like, I promise you, we found out that they didn't scorn you way back then. And Barnaby is going to try to handle it. And then since I barely have a little bit of magic left, I'm going to mage hand it up another 30 feet to get it as close to her as I can.
You mage hand it up to her. You have Bless, which I will say this extends to skill checks here as well. Go ahead and if you'd be so kind, give me Persuasion, clearly with advantage, and add Bless to it.
20 on the die.
Oh my God! That's
let me do the Bless real quick though. That's a 30.
30 in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons is the difficulty for impossible tasks. Barnaby, you lift the letter up to her. She looks at it, opens it, and reads it, drops to her knees in front of you, now weeping even harder for a different reason. She looks up at you and says, I'm nothing but a fool, a terrible fool.
Listen, don't be so hard on yourself. I mean, there have been times, I mean, maybe just like once or twice where I haven't done the right thing. And you know, the thing that makes it better is if you realize that there's been a mistake and you do something to fix it. And there are like 2 things that I know right now. Okay. So there's one thing that says that I really, really love this forest. I mean, it's my home and I love it. And we don't want this bad thing to happen to it. And the second thing that I know, I mean, I know a lot of other things, but we'll say the second thing that I know, like right in this moment that is kind of pertinent, is to say that friends can bring out the best in you. And see, I think that deep down you really love your sisters, or you wouldn't have been so mad all these years. And you got to see that they didn't mean to do this to you. So I think you can like forgive them and maybe like wave your hands, and all of this bad stuff doesn't happen to this forest.
Michael, you have something you want to do right now.
While he, like, after he finishes saying all the things, he's like, and he's got a cool hat. So, I mean...
You see the Queen of Dusk weeps. As Barnaby says this incredibly poignant message about, you know, forgiveness and how the people that we love bring out the best in us, she smiles and looks at you and goes, what is your name, Fawn?
Oh, you got it right. You called me a fawn and not a satyr. Oh my goodness. And he starts like kind of rubbing on whatever he can reach.
Yeah, she's got this like giant arm here. So you're like, she smiles and says, I have not had much cause for joy.
I am Barnaby, by the way.
Barnaby, I am the Queen of Dusk, and I have not had much cause for joy. It means a great deal that you would speak both so eloquently and so plainly with me. It touches my heart. You see, she says, I don't understand. How did this invitation not reach me? Yes, Michael.
After she says that, Michael's gonna say, it's probably that weird tiny foot guy. I don't trust him.
You see, she goes, she goes, Tinyfoot? Who are you talking about, Tinyfoot? She looks and says, I have when I lived in the mortal realm and kept the court of Dusk here in Caverly, I had the greatest herald of them all. My herald was the swiftest and most sure, and unlike my sister's heralds, he was a mortal born and knew the ways of the mortal world so well.
And what was his name?
Viserys.
Do we have a story to
no.
tell you?
Tiny foot.
Dave, yes.
Told you.
To Twig and Sylvan, I say to him, actually in Sylvan, I'm like, oh boy, keep an eye out. I think this Viserys chap might still have one more trick up his sleeve now that the queen,
The moment Hatch says that, the Queen of Dusk looks at you, Barnaby, and says, looks at the way you cast your mage hand, and she says, your fey magic, it falters. Are you sick or ill? Are you unwell?
Listen, I don't really care about this anymore. All I really care about's the land and these friends here. But like, I kind of like lost my patron. I had some magic from your sister, but she was kind of mean to me. And I'm not saying it was all her fault. I mean, there might have been a little bit of my fault in there. but yeah, I'm kind of like out of gas at this point. And so yeah.
You guys see that she says, I can understand. My sister, the Queen of Midnight, can be very tough.
Boy, you said it.
You see, she says, but I see no reason that we couldn't. She is hit with a bolt of magic, and you see from the castle window behind her, Viserys reaches out, hits her with a bolt of magic. She looks, and you see Viserys goes, not yet! It's all come a little too far! And you see she looks, reaches out a hand and looks at you, Barnaby, and says, I'm sorry. Thank you for your kindness. As she is sucked into the castle window through this bolt of magic, she reaches a hand out and gives all of her magic to you, Barnaby. You are hit with a bolt of something, lifted off the ground. Your spell slots are all restored, and she disappears into the castle. You guys hear the hooting and hollering of all the forest's gargoyles coming after you, and legions of thornhounds.
It's on now, tiny, creepy, small foot guy.
You guys turn to see. You see that Sir Alamanth looks at you and says, the paths of this courtyard deserve protecting. You see that Twig flexes and goes, trees of the Dusk Court, awaken! And you hear, boom, trees wake up and start hurling rocks. You see Jothra looks and says, oh, this is pretty bad. Well, you know what'll stop some thornhounds? A little bit of a wall of fire. Boom! And he runs so fast that a wall of fire starts to zigzag out through the court. Alamanth takes his halberd and says, save the Dusk Queen! We'll hold them off here in the courtyard! What do you guys do? You also have a kind of confused Frederick and Buford here as well. What are you guys going to do? Michael.
Hatch, I remember you mentioning, I still can't remember his name, Tinyfoot. Do you know anything else about him? Yes. Sorry.
Cool. What you guys would know, go ahead, and anyone that wants to make an Arcana check can make one for me.
We got to get up in that window.
Mm-hmm.
While they're doing that, does it look like there is a way to enter the window? Or is it just sheer wall? Or
you guys could probably climb up there. Twig could just like reach you up into that window if you wanted to. Hatch, yes.
Yeah, I do ask Twig to start putting us up through the window. I'm also going to cast my oh no, wait, it won't work this way. Yeah, I'm just gonna ask I'm like, hey, Twitch. Or Twig, sorry. Twitch on Twig.
This is Twitch.
That's his brother. He's a different guy. He doesn't shut up. Put us through the window, man. We gotta go.
Cool. Twig lifts you guys up into the window. No sweat. Michael.
I got 11 on my Arcana check.
You had an 11 on your Arcana check. Cool. Demora.
Natural 20.
Are you kidding? What? This is the best finale of all time. Demora. So I'm gonna say this. You guys are lifted into this next room. Demora, you get a sorry, Ren, did you have something?
Just before we go, I ask Buford to keep Frederick off to the side as much as he can, keep him safe.
Okay. As you go over there, Buford says, "All right, I'll keep a watch on Frederick. He shouldn't be in combat." He says, "Frederick is very confused." You see that Frederick looks up at you and says, "Hello, what is your name, lady?"
I'm Ren. We'll talk later.
Very well. Heads off. You see that Frederick looks and says, "Very confusing. Getting kind of cold and dusky. You might want to make a fire." Buford says, "Not now, Frederick, not now." You guys are lifted up. Michael, yes, you have a question?
While they're being lifted up, Michael holds onto his like water thing for good luck. He's like, "I got this. Clean water will always save me."
Clean water will you got your little water thing? Awesome. By the way, this is a crazy, I know we're live on stream right now, but Adam, I want to check in with you. It's 4:43 right now. If we go a little bit over today, is that okay?
Let's go as long as we need.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, great. So you guys are lifted up into the window. Demora, you get a nat 20 on your Arcana check. It all comes together. Viserys, in another time, like many years ago, was the mortal herald of the Queen of Dusk. It would have been his responsibility to deliver the invitation. So if Viserys wanted to doom all of the world to slumber forever, all he would have to do is have that invitation go missing. It was lost on purpose, which is how the peddler found it, which is one half of this. Demora, you know that a couple big arcane things are happening right now, which is that the Dusk Queen can't, if she's captured, can't revert. You don't even know if the Dusk Queen can reverse her prophecy at all. Right, with how she's being captured right now. So there's two big problems right now. The Dusk Queen has been captured, and the day of the Prince Lionel's 18th birthday is fast approaching. And if it hits that time, he will not have been. The prophecy will take effect. All the lands of Lyra will fall asleep. Right, that's one thing. So there's a couple things that need to happen. You need to save the Dusk Queen. You need to stop Viserys. But there's also the whole question of Prince Lionel here. Yes, Hatch. Oh, you're muted. Sorry, you're muted.
I'd like to make a history check, to which I too got a natural 20.
Are you kidding me? Yes, go for it.
Are we sure Prince Lionel was human, or was he a gnome? Because we've got another gnome accounted for here.
Oh yeah, the one that he was.
Yeah. Were there any other gnomes in the court of Caverly?
Awesome. You're pretty sure that Prince Lionel, well, on a nat 20, you know that Lionel was a human. So you know he was a human. God, there's so much going on right now with all these nat 20s. This is incredible. So you guys get shoved into the window. There is a pathway leading up towards like a sort of familiar glow that you can see, like of the Dusk Queen. There's another pathway leading up to the throne room where you hear laughter. You guys can head in one direction and then the other. You can head, if you want, you can head toward the throne room, but you see one path leading to the throne room, one path leading towards this glow of the Dusk Queen, and then the courtyard outside. And I'm going to also say that, Demora, you'll discover one more thing in a little bit with that Nat 20 Arcana check as well. Michael.
I think we should go to where we hear the laughter because it's probably where I'm so bad at this. What's his face?
Tiny feet.
Tiny feet.
Tiny feet. If you guys want to go to Tiny Feet, you absolutely can. Awesome. Very, very cool. You guys rush up there. I'm going to need everybody here to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
What's the difference between saving throws and just normal?
Saving throws are in their own little area.
I'm a surprisingly dexterous turtle at 19.
Incredible.
I am clumsily a 4.
4. Cool.
I'm a 19.
I rolled a nat 20.
Oh my goodness. That is amazing. Let me know who here did not beat a 16. Ren, Michael, just Ren and Michael didn't beat a 16?
Remember, Ren and Michael, you both have my bless on you, so you get an extra D4. I don't know if you or if
Oh,
if
sweet.
you're within
Yes,
4.
I have 18.
I rolled a 2, so
Oh no!
Made it though.
yay!
Oh no.
I didn't think anybody would be worse than Barnaby.
So-
Yeah.
Poor Ren. You see, Ren takes 8, 7, 15, 19.
What?
You take 23 points of falling damage.
Oh.
How much is Ren at right now?
I'm alive.
Oh, okay. Is
8.
there a way Michael could?
8.
At the risk of being that guy, might I advocate on Ren's behalf?
Go for it. Yeah.
She does have a super fast friend down there. Perhaps that person would have tried to catch or help her.
Uh-huh.
Well,
That's true.
I'm going to describe, because I think actually you guys don't need Jothra's help with this one. You see a 80-foot pit open up in the hallway. You hear Zaceris laugh off in the distance. And a pit opens up. Ren falls through it, badly injured as she hits the bottom. Demora, on that nat 20 Arcana check, you can see glyphs all over the side of this pit that anything made of wood or stone or plant or anything like that that comes in from the top or the bottom will never reach the other side. It's like a little teleportation magic that makes this pit nearly impossible to get out of with rope. Yes, Ren.
I just remembered the feat that I took was Dungeon Delver because the archaeologist.
Awesome.
You have advantage on saving throws made to avoid or resist traps.
Oh my goodness. You definitely roll with
Okay.
advantage.
Yeah.
And the bless still applies. So if not now, when?
Okay.
You're not going to believe me, Brennan.
What did you just roll?
Natural 20.
You got to be kidding me.
I'll take a picture if you
You-
want.
You have got to be kidding me. Cool. So that's
Well.
amazing. But no damage. You guys are all safe. Well, you leap out of the way. That's very. I can't believe you took that feat. That's amazing. But you guys see that the pit opens up and you all avoid it. At the bottom of the pit, you see someone that you think might have been left in the pit. At the very bottom is a bunch of debris, and inside of an old barrel down there, an empty barrel, you see that tied up Zaceris. You see a tied up gnome in the barrel at the bottom, just in there. Yes, Michael.
Talk?
Huh?
Can he talk?
Looks unconscious, but you see that
Okay.
the barrel is upright, and is very well sealed on all sides, and the gnome is just in there. And you know that ropes won't be able to go down there. Talisman, yes.
How
Barrel
tall
would
is the pit?
About 80 feet.
80 feet. Yeah.
Even for you, that's getting pretty
Yeah.
intense for sure.
We're bear buddies.
Michael, you're looking to see, you can see this like, no, and you know that gnome is not the real Zaceris at all. So, you know, that one is the one that was like slumped on the ground when the other one like transformed.
I mean, do we get a sense though that it is still an illusion, or I mean, does it feel like
I'm going to
it's a
say
real...
the last thing I'll give Demora on that Nat 20 Arcana is you can tell it's an illusion over a real creature.
Got it.
So there is like an innocent person down there.
Can I cast? I don't know, because I was gonna say, can I cast disguise self on it to make it look like its original self, but it only works on me. So.
I'll say this, Michael, give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Not very good. What'd you get?
23.
23 is incredible.
Not a natural 20, but
not a natural 20. I know at this point, natural 20 has become the standard. If you're not rolling nat 20s, what are you doing in the Slumbering Forest?
The rookie numbers.
Michael, you're looking down. All of you guys are puzzling over how to do this. Michael, what's Michael holding in his hands right now?
I don't know if he has the water in like one of his pockets, and he also has the scrolls from the queen in one of his pockets. And I don't think he's holding anything. He also has a dagger on him, but that's it.
Michael, you look at your decanter of endless water.
That's awesome. Okay, so Michael is gonna pour his water into the thing so that it fills up like a pool, so he floats to the top.
Incredible! Michael uncorks geyser slowly but sure. It doesn't take that long. It takes like maybe about 1 or 2 minutes. This barrel comes surging up, sort of bouncing around in the pit. Boom, 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 boom. And you guys bypass the magic of the pit and get the barrel out. Hatch, yes.
I just lean over and look at Michael and I say, amphibian power.
Incredible. Michael, you grab the barrel out, you fill the pool with water. Now also there's not a threat of this pit being a hazard anymore because it's just a big old deep pool. And there is a gnome in there, but you know that it's an illusion.
Can I make another Arcana check to see what spells casted on them?
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, Hatch, can you maybe, like, I don't know, wake him up or something? He looks like he's kind of on death's door.
Well, let me see. First thing I do, since this cost me nothing, is I hit him with Spare the Dying, so that if he's unconscious because he's hurt, he'll come to.
Gotcha.
I rolled a 15.
You rolled a 15 Arcana. It's a bonded illusion, but it's clearly very quickly done. As you guys go to get the body out, you can feel with your hands, this is a much bigger person than a gnome. You also feel the metal plates of armor. You feel that this is an armored person.
How does his shadow wear armor?
What is an amphibian?
Trinity, yes.
Trinity's gonna like look at the gnome for a little bit. The gnome.
Yes.
A little bit, and be like, I think this might be Prince Lionel.
I think you might be right. Does my Spare the Dying doesn't wake him?
Actually, I will say on a Spare the Dying, you see this gnome. This gnome does wake up. Absolutely.
Does he still have the thing in his mouth?
He's still bound, but you guys can unbind him for sure. As you unbind him, I'll say also that now that you guys have all disbelieved it, you see that you get the binding off, Spare the Dying comes to, and you see this gnome looks up and says, "Hello, Oh, thank goodness you've all rescued me. I so dearly appreciate it. Those terrible gargoyles flew me off here. It's been absolutely dreadful. Talisman, it was very charming of you to try to jump after me. And Lady...
Oh!
And Barnaby, I so appreciate that you have...
I am so confused right now. I mean, where is, like, our Frederick? Like,
you guys suddenly have like a dread realization that could be Zaceris outside.
Oh.
Do you guys want to rush back out to the courtyard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I
Okay.
see Twig from where I am? Because he's huge.
He's huge, but
Yeah.
you guys are in a hallway now. You rush back out past the pit. Frederick's going like, it seems like we're all in a hurry. I seem to look like a gnome right now. If anyone knows how to undo this, you see that you rush back out. You get out to the courtyard, and you see Twig is out in the courtyard. You see the Alamanth and Jothra, but they're all fighting off the Thornhounds and stuff. In a corner, you guys see fake Frederick leaning down. Hatch, did you want to say anything to Twig or no?
Grab that guy.
Twig turns around. I'm gonna roll.
Can Michael Arcana to see if he like what illusion spells on him also? Again?
Give me an Arcana, Michael. And Trinity, go ahead and give me survival with advantage.
Okay.
Barnaby finds himself just kind of unconsciously kind of patting and rubbing Frederick too.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, Barnaby, you're being kind to me. I always assumed you thought I was rather a feckless boob. But thank you
I
very
mean,
much.
you might still be, but you know, I'm a pretty feckless fawn myself, so we're all in this together.
I have not helped at all and have been a constant burden. You're the best friends I've ever had.
No problem. I got 18, by the way.
18 on Arcana. This is definitely an illusion on the fake Frederick out here in the courtyard. Twig turns around on a natural 18. Twig grapples and restrains that Frederick and says, "Is this the trickster? Should I end it now?" Trinity, what'd you roll on your survival?
I rolled a 24.
24. Incredible. Trinity, as Twig gets ready to, at the very least, knock this pretender to Frederick unconscious, you look down and see that fake Frederick was doing the last thing he said he was going to do. He was building a fire out in the courtyard. And as you look at the fire he was building, you can tell, because you found so many of them in the forest, this is identical to all the things you saw before. This is the same fire that you saw outside of Prince Alamanth, or Sir Alamanth. This is the fire you saw by the midday market. So this fake Frederick with his memory loss that couldn't remember Barnaby or Wren was building a fire in the exact same way as the stranger who came into the forest and fooled Sir Alamanth and was at the midday market. Trinity, you are the only one that knows this right now, and you see Twig raising a giant tree branch hand up.
Okay, then Trinity's gonna yell, "Stop! Don't kill him!"
See, Twig stops in mid-motion. "Champion of Midnight, Lady Trinity, this is a false Frederick." And you see that the false Frederick is like squirming around.
And it's like, wait, we have to see if we can take off the spell.
I'm going to say in this instance, Barnaby. Oh, yeah, Michael, go for it. What's up?
It's not that important, but the second he said, "I'm going to build a fire," I was like, oh! I just wanted to say that I knew it. Thank you.
Incredible. You guys have solved so much mystery. This is so awesome. Great job to our ace detectives. You guys see that Twig stops. Barnaby, I'm going to say that because you have been filled with the power of the Dusk Queen, you have enough ability within you right now without having to burn a spell slot to rid your gnome friend and this fake Frederick of the illusions on them.
All right, so Barnaby just pulls his fingers up in front of his face and snaps one to release a spell on one and snaps the other. I didn't know I could do that.
The illusions literally disintegrate into beautiful lavender moths. That the moths fly away. And you see that the gnome becomes a very addled-looking Frederick, and the Frederick in Twig's hands, still looking confused. You know that he still has an even more powerful spell on him. That is this memory spell. It's got to be the exact same one that used to be on Frederick. A very handsome human prince that looks just like Viserys's disguise from earlier collapses to the ground, looks up and says, I'm sorry, I was building a fire. I just was cold. You're Barnaby, right? You said that you were my best friend.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel so addled right now. I'm sorry. I should have known better than to build a fire next to a living tree. That must be not to his liking.
Who are you?
You see, he looks up at you and says, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
I mean, I feel like I would know that if I was your best friend, but
Michael, did you raise your hand?
I was gonna say,
Who are you? Hatch.
Hey, Twig. You told me there was a guy that was in the woods that I think was this guy, but then you said there was like other guys.
Oh, yes, there are many guys in the midday market, yes.
But like more people like us, you said, right?
Oh, by people like you, I meant you. Oh,
I understand, buddy.
Yes, sorry. But this is the stranger who came to the midday market. This is he. You see that Sir Alamanth, who's off fighting on the drawbridge, turns around and says, "That's that rascal that made me fall asleep." Michael, that's you.
does Barnaby have the power to give him his memory back since he has the Dusk Queen magic?
Barnaby does not have the power to undo that, sadly. But you guys see, you guys hear thunder rumbling, and the skies are closing in. The three champions, Trinity, Michael, and Talisman, you hear the voices of your queens in your ear saying, "Champions, minutes now exist between now and the coming of the prince's name day. If he cannot recognize his parents, then all is lost. Our sister must be saved and Viserys defeated at once."
Michael tells Twig to just like kind of keep him there so we can go back and beat up that guy. Tiny feet.
Awesome. Twig holds on to the one whose memory is lost. Are you guys going to rush the throne room?
Yeah.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Hatch, yes.
Oh, if they rush the throne room, Hatch is gonna detour over towards the Queen of Dusk because Viserys has been tricking us all day. So
Cool.
I'll be like, I'll catch you up.
Okay, so
yeah.
I go with him?
So the Queen of Dusk is in a different place right now?
the Queen of Dusk is in a different place right now. You guys can go, if you guys want to go to her first, you can, but you guys have probably about 10 minutes left before midnight.
How about we split up? I assume.
Let's just follow Hatch.
That's always a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, nothing goes wrong.
Cool. You guys follow Hatch to the glow of the Dusk Queen. You see that Twig actually gives, so now you see Frederick looks over at this kind of befuddled human, like the stranger coming through the forest, and says, "Hello, I'm Frederick. I thought I was Prince Lionel for a time." And you see that the guy says, "Who's Prince Lionel?" And you see Frederick says, "Probably you, but we can't be sure." "All right," and walks off. "This is a boy named Buford. He has a wagon with a barrel of water. That's Michael's house. I'll try to keep you up to speed." Hatch, that's you.
Detect magic. So whenever I get within 30 feet, I'm going to keep it up. And just so I can just like feel if I'm like get close to Viserys, like anything that like isn't obvious. Like of course I expect to feel the Queen and all these other, but I'm like, hey, what's over there? You know. So detect magic.
Cool.
I think I have that scroll for that spell, don't I? Did I get that?
If you'd prefer to use it, that's fine by me.
I was gonna say we could both, so I can, or you can just.
If you want to cast it that now, Michael, I think that's a great idea. So you both have a detect magic up. You guys, with detect magic, you guys can detect. First of all, there's magic everywhere. Like this prophecy is coalescing. Like the days, the times of day are coming into alignment. Obviously, like Alamanth and Jathra are doing magic out in the fight at the edge of the castle. You guys see that a strong glowing magic is coming from the banquet hall, which is right off of the throne room. So the Dusk Queen you see is weirdly in the banquet hall, but you also see another piece of magic. A powerful summoning has occurred here in this sort of like antechamber to where the Dusk Queen is being kept. You guys see that there is an incredibly powerful stone sphinx statue here. And there's a little sort of font of water. And you see that there is a little kind of like salamander's head that has like water coming out of its mouth into the bowl. I'm going to say on that nat 20 from earlier, it looks up to Michael, and through a mouthful of water, this little gargoyle goes, hello, Michael. The guardians at the front of the castle were kind enough to tell me that you might be dropping by.
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing quite well. One amphibian to another.
That's an amphibian too?
A salamander, of course an amphibian. Though, truthfully, I'm actually made of stone. You see, it looks over you and says, "Are you trying to get into the banquet hall where the Dusk Queen is being kept? I'm afraid that rascally Viserys has put the Sphinx as a guardian on this room. The Sphinx is vastly more powerful than..."
Hey, Mr. Waterspout, let me just ask right now, like if we take care, so if Viserys did that, if we go take care of Viserys, is that thing going to go away?
Yes, but I'm afraid it might be too late for the Dusk Queen at that point. You see, it says, the Sphinx is extremely powerful, but has a bunch of moss in its ears and nostrils, so it can only see, and anything it sees, it will attack at once.
But wait, if it don't see nothing, you're saying that we could get in there?
Yes, all you have to do is touch that rune on the other side of the door, and the Sphinx will go back to sleep.
I put my hand on Trinity, and I'm like, Trinity, I think you're up.
Awesome. Trinity, you see a dark, shadowy room with this powerful statue of a Sphinx that you know will come to life if you are seen at all in this place.
You can also cast invisibility on her.
That would be better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to take no chances, I say probably let's go for that. Michael shrouds you in invisibility. Trinity, your cloak surrounds you. Go ahead and give me, I'm going to say that just like Pass Without Trace, we're going to say that invisibility is going to give you a +10 to this stealth check. Go ahead and roll this with advantage and add that additional +10.
Well, I rolled a nat 20 on one of them.
What is happening?
So that's 30.
30 before
even
we
the
even
digital
add your
dice.
modifier. You guys see, by the way, one of you guys just breathes and a little bit of dust goes into the room. The dust lands on the floor and the Sphinx pounces on the dust. This thing is so perceptive. And Trinity, there's a bunch of stone pillars in this room. You are as silent as an owl, as invisible as the wind. You leap with your boots of striding and springing, clutch to the roof, clutch to another pillar, move across. You guys can't even be sure. You're like not sure if Trinity has even left yet. Trinity, you make it to the other side of the room, surrounded by shadow, and see a rune on that door to touch to open it. As you touch the rune, you see the Sphinx goes, "What?" and just tumbles into different stones. Challenge solved with a nat 20 stealth check by Trinity. The doors swing open. You guys see the banquet hall past there. In the banquet hall, you see that the Queen of Dusk is at a gilded seat at the head of the table. There is a giant banquet hall and another gilded seat, a banquet table, and another seat at the far end. And you see that the table is laden with the most incredible royal feast you've ever seen. Fruits, roast beast, all kinds of incredible stuff. Queen of Dusk looks like she has lost much of her power. She looks up at you, Barnaby, and
Barnaby's
smiles.
going to rush toward her. Are you all right?
You see, she looks up and says, I am fading quickly.
As she's saying this, Barnaby's grabbing a few things off the table. What can we do to help you?
You see that she looks and says, this is the feast whose invitation I missed. Ciceris was my
Barnaby
herald.
sets the food down.
You see, she says, Ciceris has trapped me here with my sorrow and anger. The feast, the naming day that I missed, I am doomed now. You see that she looks up and says, the spell that binds me here now has made me weak. And
what if we could recreate this naming day thing? Like, what if we, I mean, it's kind of a wild chance. I don't know if it's really true or not, but there might be somebody that you know out here and we can bring him here and you could, slap a name on him and bada bing, bada boom, everything will be fine.
She shakes her head and says, my dear sweet Barnaby, I wish that you had been my herald instead of Ciceris, whose treachery has led me to this. There's simply not enough time. Midnight is about to strike. The spell that's holding me here would be ended if I were able to finish all the food of this feast. But who could eat all of this food in
Obviously, we got a champion on our hands that has just done so much eating, and I ain't too bad myself. Everybody get in here. We got to start scoffing down this food right away.
Incredible. I will say, Demora, go ahead and give me 2 Constitution checks. We'll say roll with advantage here, if you would like. And does Demora have bless now or no? No, I don't think so. Right?
I can give it to her. I'm like, you got it, champ.
Awesome. So Demora, go ahead and give us those 2 Constitution checks.
Michael will just eat some fruit. Michael will eat some fruit just to kind of help.
Cool.
Just eat a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Hatch.
While this is happening, I use thaumaturgy to make my voice boom again.
Awesome.
And I'm like, hey, Ciceris, you've been working hard at all of this, and I'm sure you had a good reason for being tricky. But maybe we don't have to fight. Maybe we can help.
Give me a persuasion check.
It is a pitiful dirty 20.
Awesome. Demora. So, what did Demora roll for her Constitution check?
I got a dirty 20 as well.
Dirty 20 as well. You see, as the Dusk Queen sits and says, all that would be needed to release me from this spell would be to eat this food. But who could eat all this? Demora, I feel like, has already sat at the other seat, the other end of the table, tucked a napkin into her armor, and just as the tablecloth is literally just a conveyor belt now as you're pulling it.
Barnaby's like mage handing things into her face, like.
The Dusk Queen looks at Demora and is completely amazed. As Demora finishes the last, just like whole melon, just the Queen says, "You've saved me. Your bottomless stomach, you have saved me from this spell. I am free once more." She looks at you, hears Zaceris cackling in the other room. She says, she's like, I am free, but I'm still too weakened to undo the prophecy. We would need Prince Lionel to be here to undo the prophecy.
Well, some guy that might be him.
We'll be right back.
Cool.
Commercial break.
You guys run outside. You see the guy going, "Hello, what is it? Can I help you?"
Yeah, hey, Twig, can you lift that guy up here? And no, I don't have time to talk about it. Like, just lift him up here right now.
Just
No
run and
talking.
grab him.
Yes, Trinity.
Trinity just starts spitting out everything he is. It's like, so your twins lying on your parents are. And she like finishes like,
He's like, what? Okay. This is a lot to take in. And you guys are like marching him along. It's like, clank, 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 clank.
Or you probably are. We're assuming.
Yeah, you see that Frederick looks out and says, "Don't worry, old boy. These people know what they're talking about. Just go with the flow and it'll all be all right." Yes, Hatch.
My last spell slot, I want to hit him with Lesser Restoration. You got this, your princeliness.
You guys rush into the throne room. Covered in cobwebs and cocoons are King Leonor and Queen Lorabelle, who have been preserved here in slumber. Between them is Zaceris, growling, looking up. It is only a minute till midnight. The Dusk Queen comes in with you. Frederick and Buford are both here as well. This sort of addled prince is looking at Trinity like, okay, I'm Prince Lionel. Walks in, Hatch, Lesser Restoration. Trinity, he looks at you as the spell vanishes, and he goes, yes, Lionel. Thank you. He looks up and you see he begins to weep. He goes, that's my mother and father. That's who they are. Who are you wonderful people? And why have you saved me?
Hey, this is all touching and everything, but we kind of got like...
Yeah, like...
Yeah, you see Sarah says, not on my watch!
So, are we rolling initiative or...
well, I'm going to say this. On a nat 20 persuasion, Hatch has said it doesn't.
It was dirty.
On a dirty 20 persuasion, Zaceris is here. The Dusk Queen is here as well. I will look at all of you right now. I will say this. If you guys want to feel like Zaceris is too dangerous, he's too tricky, he's the villain, we need to defeat him in combat, then you guys can go ahead and roll initiative. If instead you would rather take Hatch's dirty 20 persuasion and do a group persuasion check to try, or I would say group persuasion and intimidate, to try to get Zaceris to surrender, we can also do that. If we want,
can I accentuate it with magic?
You can accentuate it with magic, yes.
Yeah, what I would like to do at this point in time is just kind of stride forward a few steps. And, because Barnaby has in mind that he's about to be the new herald. And then he looks at Viserys and just says, all right, listen, kid, It's time for you to sit down and watch the show. And then at that point in time, I'm going to cast suggestion and or any intimidation or persuasion that can happen here. It's a wisdom 15 if that matters.
Wisdom 15. Yes, I will make that check. And sorry, what's the name of the spell again?
Suggestion.
Suggestion. He rolls a natural 3. Yeah, that's still like an 11 for him, but that is not good enough. Incredible. So what is Barnaby's suggestion again?
You, kid, go over here and sit down and watch the show. And I'm basically just commanding him to go and sit down and watch the naming ceremony.
Great. And you're doing this on Zaceris, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Amazing. Michael, you had your hand raised.
Can I cast friends on him?
Yes, you can. So you'll get advantage on that. So let's just take a vote real quick because you can settle this. You can settle this with violence. Where you can fight him if he's clearly ready to fight. I see a big thumbs down from Trinity. So so we get thumbs down for a fight. So in that case, Zaceris is boom hit by the suggestion. Barnaby, you see the Queen of Dusk looks in awe at you as both of you, as you like command this magic in this space. Very heraldish thing to do.
He's going to be tied up for 8 hours as long as I concentrate.
I'm vibing on a unanimous vote to try and talk this through. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you guys want to use your status as heroes to end this without bloodshed. Give me a thumbs up. That's thumbs up across the board, baby. So you see that Zaceris quakes and shudders, scoots over to the side, boom, sits down, and is trying to like struggle against the spell. Hatch, we'll start with you with that 20 persuasion. Barnaby starts with the command to sit down. That is adhered to. Let's go ahead, everybody, and just roll the rest of everyone roll a group. You can use intimidation or persuasion. But let's do a group check. You're rolling with advantage because you're casting friends.
Yep.
Dirty 20.
2 dirty 20s. Great.
22.
22. What did Michael get?
Okay, hold on.
Or a Talisman. What did Talisman get?
I got a 13.
13? Great. We just need 4 people to pass. What did Ren get?
Natural 20.
Natural 20!
I took a picture.
That's good.
Screenshot or it didn't happen.
What did Demora get?
Another natural 20.
You've got to be kidding me.
Well, I mean, to make this even better, I got a 5. So I'm really good at this.
So let's go one by one. We started with Barnaby, and Barnaby says, "Hey, sit down, watch the ceremony." I'll leave it to you guys. You guys see the Dusk Queen covers her mouth and is weeping. Buford and Frederick are kind of like in the hall. Frederick's like, "This feels a little bit above our pay grade, wouldn't you say, my old boy, buddy?" You see that Lionel, who is like covered in the dirt of having traveled by himself through the Slumbering Forest, takes 2 unsure steps. Hatch's healing spells restored his mind. He turns back to all of you and is just weeping. He looks at Trinity, who was like explaining everything to him and all of you, and goes, "I would have slept forever. All of you knew that you weren't of the prophecy and you risked everything."
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything here, but I mean, like, I think we have like 20 seconds left before the whole world kind of implodes here.
He goes up with 5 seconds on the clock. He goes and takes the hand of his mother and father and goes, please awaken. And you hear all the gargoyles turn back into statues. The thorn hounds disintegrate. They both begin to awaken with all those incredible checks that are keeping Viserys from entering into combat. One by one, what do each of you say? Whoever wants to go first can, but you guys can address Viserys, or you can like address the room if you want. Trinity, what does Trinity say?
Trinity goes up to the salesman and is like, all right, listen to me. So you are going to go out there and not come back, and never ever come back again, okay? Yeah.
Once again, a bunch of Trinity's shadows all draw their own swords, and Viserys goes, huh! Yes, that's fine. That's fine with me. Demora.
Demora's just gonna say, go live a regular life, eat lots of food, and enjoy it.
You see, he goes, of course, I'll eat as many meals as I can. Michael, that's you.
Michael goes, well, first of all, I am much more handsome than you, tiny feet, tall frog man. No one thinks your frog is better than me. My frog, I'm the best, so,
I can attest.
go.
This is true.
Yes. It's just facts, not opinions.
He's like, I'm sorry, I did not mean to offend. I'll never turn into a frog again. Incredible. For Ren or Talisman, are you guys good? Are you? Yeah. Talisman. Sorry, Talisman. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say something.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you, my friends. It has been a pleasure to know you and go on this amazing, wonderful adventure with you.
As you smile and say that, you see the Queen of Dusk looks at Viserys as Michael says, never turn into a frog again. The Queen of Dusk looks at Michael and says, no, I dare say that this gnome will never turn into a frog again. The Queen of Dusk extends her hands to you, Barnaby, for the return of her magic. And there's a moment where Barnaby realizes that if he held on to it right now, he wouldn't have to ask for it, but she would never have her magic back.
He puts his finger.
Yeah.
I put my hand on Barnaby's shoulder. I'm like, I know that was rough, buddy.
It's okay. As long as I get to live in peace, I don't have to have magic anymore.
Trinity, that's you.
And Trinity's gonna be like, wait a minute, did we already run out of time, or?
You see that with 20 seconds before the end, King Leonor and Queen Lorabelle awaken and go, and you guys hear, boom. You guys have restored the prophecy, which you have saved the Dusk Queen, you have saved Caverly, saved the King and Queen and Prince, and kept the realms of Lyra safe from the Slumbering Forest! You guys see, you hear bells ringing as all over the castle, servants and courtiers wake up after 18 years of slumber. Bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong. And through all the shutters are thrown open, and in 4 different corners of the sky, you see dawn, dusk, midday, and midnight as the Queen of Dusk's sisters appear in the throne room next to you. They all look at the Queen of Dusk and go, darling sister, run up, give her kisses on the cheek. They're all like, I'm so glad this worked out. I knew you were invited. We just couldn't find that invitation. Why would they invite us and not you? And she's like, I'm so sorry. I just was so upset and hurt, and starts kissing them. And she goes, she looks down and says, as for turning into a frog, Viserys, I think that will be the last time you turn into anything. You see, she boom, hits him and robs all of his warlock powers from him.
Yeah, take that, frog.
Hatch, that's you.
After she does this, I just lean down to him and I go, yeah, that's rough. But I tell you what, you can travel with me. I'd like to hear your story.
Viserys looks up and says, really? You would? Oh.
Yeah, but no more trickiness.
Yes, I shall never trick again.
I just summoned the blue spiky turtle shell, and I'm like, no, really.
Oh, no, okay.
More
No.
trickiness.
No, really, I get it. I'm sorry. It's a habit. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I won't. I really won't. Incredible. You all look and see the Queen of Dusk turn around, and the royal family of Cavalry comes up weeping and holding each other. The Queen of Midnight looks to you, Trinity, and says, it's so wonderful when I choose right. Couldn't have picked a better champion. You see that the Queen of Midday looks at you, Michael, and says, incredible work, my dear wizard. And let's give thanks where thanks is due. And you see that she gives you just another pouch of gold. She's like, good work deserves to be paid. Talisman, you look and see the Queen of Dawn says, yes, my mighty champion, you've done it, and slaps you on the back. And the Queen of Dusk looks down and looks at Demora and Barnaby. You see that she says, she looks at, and says, look, first of all, she looks at her sisters and says, wait a minute, you guys all have champions? And they all sort of nod and like, yeah, they're incredible. They're mortal heroes. And she's like, well, I'm not going to not have a champion if all of you have champions. And she looks down and says, Demora of the underworld, but for your boundless appetite, I would still be bound to that chair. Would you do me the honor of becoming my champion?
Yes.
She smiles and gives you a pair of metallic blue silvery gauntlets. And as you grasp your greatsword, it is sheathed in blue flame. She says, champion of the dusk, it is well and good. And she looks at you, Barnaby, and says, my dear Barnaby, to think that you would accept a life without magic, merely to do what was right, speaks to a character that I have long been missing.
When you put it that way.
She smiles and says, however, I find myself suddenly and unexpectedly in need of a herald. And I think it would be quite gauche if my herald were not able to wield the magic of my realm. If it's all right with you, would you consider taking me on as your patron?
Can I think about it for a day? Of course I will, Queenie. Of course I will.
You see, she laughs uproariously and she says, oh, but you are a funny fawn, and picks you up. She's like 18 feet tall and twirls you around and kisses you. And with a single kiss, a glowing little kiss appears on your cheek for a moment, and whoom, your body floods with magic. See, the Queen of Midnight looks over and goes, you're making a mistake, sister. And she goes,
ask you.
And you see the Queen of Dusk goes, oh, that's right. Put her in her place, Barnaby. She smiles. And you see that the king and queen, Leonore and Lorabelle, the Queen Lorabelle approaches and says, you have saved Caverly. You have saved our kingdom. The Queen of Dusk says, I feel that I must apologize. I was wrong. And these mortals were brave enough to show it to us. And you see that the king and queen look solemn. They're holding their son, and they say, but you have made such a magical and wonderful place here in the Slumbering Forest. What is to become of the denizens of your courts if the kingdom of Caverly returns? The four queens turn to look at each other, and you see that Sir Alamanth and Twig and Jothra all come in as well, and say, Well, we are the Queens of Fae, and our magic knows no bounds. If the four of us were to work together, would you be all right if the Slumbering Forest coexisted with the Kingdom of Caverly? A realm within, beyond, behind, and above. Perhaps the kingdom can come back once more, but they look at Sir Alamanth and say, many secret pathways behind the hedge and doors by the old farmhouse. Secret orchards will have paths that lead to a realm beyond. The Slumbering Forest and Caverly could coexist in the realms of Lyra. If this is amenable to you, the king and queen nod in assent and say, yes, we would not wish for magic to leave the world, nor to lose the favor of the four queens of fairy. You see that the four queens of fairy all look at each other and say, if these realms are to coexist, though, there will be many strange new pathways. It could become quite confusing. We would need someone to map them or track them, keep an eye on how many branching pathways there would be. Are there any here that know of the cartography of planes and the movements of celestial bodies to keep a track of this slumbering forest?
I'll do it.
You guys see Ren steps forward. The four queens smile and look down. And you see off in the corner of your eye, you hear the cackling of the hag back in the marketplace and the friends that you've made. And the four queens say, a wise and learned druid of the stars seems perfect. I suspect there will be many adventures mapping these secret pathways between the worlds of fairy and the kingdom of Caverly. Be a shame for this woman to go alone, this learned druid. She will have her hands full charting the movements of these strange new fairy pathways into lands beyond. You see that the four queens each turn to their champions and say, champions, will you not assist this hero in her quest?
And then Trinity's like, yes, we will help her.
I'm so tired.
I mean, we can get started tomorrow.
Not today. Not today.
Yeah.
You see the queens laugh at Michael's joke. The queens all laugh at Michael's joke and say, of course. Not today, but someday soon. The king and queen say, of course, not today. A feast first, a feast for our friends. And you see Frederick says, wonderful. I've been hungry for a while. There's merrymaking and applause. And Michael, yes.
While they're eating, Michael wants to get the Dusk and the Midnight Queen together and be like, okay, I have a very important question. Do you guys like me?
Okay, go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage.
Okay.
One last time. And we'll say that bless is still on you from the earlier bless spell.
So plus
1d4.
1d4. 1d4.
Way to stay on brand, Michael.
I love it. I love it.
That's 18.
18. You see that the Queen of Dusk looks and says, well, you are one of the heroes that has come to save my court. Of course I like you. The Queen of Midnight purses her lips and sits back in her chair. Do I like you? The Queen of Midnight looks over at you, Trinity, and you hear a voice in your head telepathically. And the Queen of Midnight says, what do you think, Trinity? Should I like Michael or no?
Yeah, you should. He's a very nice guy.
She says, Trinity, such a sweetheart. The Queen of Midnight, you hear none of that, Michael. The Queen leans down and says, Michael, you find yourself in my favor. Mwah.
out of 4. Let's go.
4 out of 4. Let's go. See, she says, I do like him, but my God, that frog is thirsty. Yes, Ren.
Just like she did at the first feast, Ren's gonna find Frederick and put a hand on his shoulder and say, "So, yep, for another adventure?"
You would honestly take me? I'm not a burden or a problem. If that's
I mean, listen, you could become better because, I mean, to be honest, I might have been a little bit of a burden when we started this, and now I'm like the most powerful one here. So maybe that could happen to you too.
Buford smiles and says, "Of course you're not a burden, Frederick. Now that we know you're a fisherman, you'll be able to catch all kinds of fish for us on these journeys."
I do love fish.
You see that the real Prince Lionel comes over and says, "Of course, my good friend. And listen, if you are a fisherman, what you deserve is a fishing pole." And you see he hands him a little fishing pole. You guys see that Frederick takes it. The 4 fairy queens whisper to each other, all point a finger at Frederick. He takes the fishing pole and catches it in his hand and says, "That's right. Frederick the fisherman, adventurer extraordinaire, at your service!" Merrymaking and laughter and feasting go well into the night. If any of our wonderful champions have any last bits of story. Yes, Talisman.
Talisman's going to walk up to Demora with a half-eaten chicken leg and say, "How do you do this?"
Amazing. Incredible. Trinity, did I see you have hands up? Did you want to do anything else, or are you all good?
No.
Beautiful. With that last laugh, as Talisman can't understand how Demore puts it away, our wonderful heroes celebrate their victory at having saved the Slumbering Forest. Everyone watching at home, this has been such a joy and an honor. I don't remember having this much fun on a wonderful adventure with such lovely people. Please go watch, tell your friends to watch the adventure. It's all up for your viewing pleasure. And make sure to give again to Direct Relief, the charity that we're sponsoring with these games. Some really great people doing a great cause. Yes, Maddie.
Why did he put the guy to sleep, Prince Lionel? We never found that out.
Why did he put him to sleep?
And like, where was he going? Like,
because he didn't want the prophecy to come true, so he took him out of commission. He took him out, because Prince Lionel had returned to the forest. For all of you watching at home, make sure to give into Direct Relief. Once again, let's get a final goodbye from our amazing players. Let's give a round for Mr. Adam Bradford, first of all. Yay, Mr. Adam Bradford. Mr. Luke Bradford. Ms. Kelly Knox. Yay. Ms. Maddie Knox. Yay. Mr. B. Dave Walters. Ms. Lexi Walters and Ms. Kaylin Walters. Yay!
And also thank you, Mr. Brennan Lee Mulligan.
Yes.
Oh, shucks. Well, wonderful. Guys, what an incredible adventure. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you again on the next adventure down the road. Be safe, be well, take care, and thank you for watching.